I'm bipolar, and I want to be upfront about that right away. Because it changes some people's perceptions, right? About how reliable I might be, or if, I'm having some mental health episode or whatever. I'm not, but we'll get into that later this video or in another one. But anyway, about 3 years ago, for the most part, my bipolar has always been well managed, but about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I had to start a new medication because my insurance would not pay for the one that I was on that was working pretty well. I had my ups and downs, pardon the pun, because bipolar is a lot more than that, but, I was functioning adult. So I tried a new one, and these all work differently for different people, right? And I had a bad reaction to it. And it sent me into a very intense 18-month long mania with, I guess periods of psychosis, if the whole thing might have even been a psychosis. And as is typical with manias that intense and that long, I don't remember most of it. Out of 18 months, I might remember 10 days worth, if that. Part of it was psychosis, probably part of it was because I was drinking a lot from what I do remember. But I came away from that experience, with a brand new appreciation and gratitude for life, for every moment. For most of my life, I had anxiety every waking moment, and oftentimes woke up within a night. We'll get into reasons why for that, what I've done to help it, because I have very little now. In a later date, I'm not a doctor, at least not that kind of doctor. So I can't, tell you what I do will work for everybody else, but I can tell you what's worked for me. But part of it was just coming back from this with that new gratitude for life, because I did try to commit suicide more than once during that time. I guess that the police came to get me for a wellness check one time, and this is something I do not remember, but my significant other reminded me of. She just casually brought it up, not realizing that was one of the things I didn't remember, right? So anyway, I blew my life apart, or my life was blown apart. I don't like to say I when it comes to this, because it was not what I previously considered as I. What I do remember of it, my mind was working a totally alien way. I believed many contradictory things at once. I had a delusion that I had died when I tried to kill myself, and that what I was experiencing then was my neurons firing in my brain as I died, right? Which turned out not to be true, I guess. But anyway, so I blew, during this time my personal life was blown out, all my relationships changed in some way. Professionally, I'm still feeling ramifications from that. Just tattoos that I didn't want, not that they're not good, but, I would not have got them otherwise. So I had this, life-changing moment. And I came out of this new gratitude for life and wanting to experience every minute and just be thankful for it. A lot of my anxiety went away just from that. I also had EMDR therapy, which I will talk about that in another video in case it helps other people. But anyway, and then other things started changing, right? Things I used to be interested in just started dropping off. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I stopped drinking Diet Coke, which was probably the biggest. No, I was an alcoholic. And I smoked cigarettes for 30 years till this, and it just came to me all of a sudden, really, I'm going to quit smoking cigarettes now, and that was the last one, right? Talk about that in another video, too. I didn't know how much content I would have for this channel, just I was going to share what's going on with me and leave it at that, but I don't know. as I talk, more ideas are coming up. Not all that has to do with Kundalini or spiritual stuff, right? Having some tea. Anyway, so, I wasn't into depressing songs or music or poetry or all this stuff like I used to be. I'm a creative person, and I also created that kind of art. I wasn't interested in creating that kind of art anymore. I was more interested in creating some kind of joyous art, right? Like I did when I was a kid. Running theme to this is going to go back a lot to when I was a kid. Because there's similarities to things that happened to me then and that happens to me now through meditation or other things, right? With what I assume is chakra and Kundalini activity, something I didn't even believe in a year ago. Anyway, so I had this sickness, I was sick. And finally, I didn't get help during that time because, the mania. I thought I was doing better than ever. Even though a lot of my time was spent trying to convince myself why I wasn't crazy. Or, I don't like to use that word crazy, but not myself, we'll say. But anyway, so then my ego and my self-identity changed. I always considered myself good at my job. Well, that faltered when I was sick. That's part of my identity. I was this kind of depressive, creative person. That fell away. All of these things I identified with myself fell away. And also, when I think back then and now to when I was sick, that was not my body, that was not my mind, as the Isha Kriya says. And I just have this knowing, really, it's not a feeling that there's something more to me than my body or mind, which is a feeling I never had before, or if I did, I suppressed it because of such of a bad religious upbringing, I guess. I'm not going to judge it, and we'll talk about it later, but it wasn't good for my spiritual growth. So anyway, I started having some experiences we're going to talk about in other videos that I just had to Google them, right? So my total personality changed. I think I got started down finding out about this stuff by Googling personality changes after a trauma, right? Or maybe after mania, I can't remember exactly. And one of the first things that came up to call my attention was Kundalini activity. And I started looking into that, right? And it seems to be fitting me to a bill. So I started meditation. I've started learning stuff. I even went to a Hindu temple and I've not befriended, but I've met the priest there. I'm going to go back. Not that I identify as Hindu or anything else, but, I'm learning. So we're going to talk about all that stuff on the channel. Please share your experiences in the comments. If you've got any questions, ask them. Maybe we can help each other out. All right. Thank you.